This is NextGen Caribbean, where we don't just report development, we question it. For the past 5 years, the story of Guyana has been oil. Billions in offshore revenue, skyscrapers rising, highways expanding, foreign investors circling. But tonight, we're stepping away from offshore platforms and glass towers. And we're going back to the cane fields. Because while oil is shaping the future, sugar still represents the past, and possibly the test of whether Guyana can modernize without abandoning its legacy industries. The government of Guyana says GuySuCo, the state-owned sugar corporation, is on track to return to profitability by 2030. $13.4 billion has been allocated for 2026 alone. Mechanization is increasing. Factories are being recapitalized. Production is projected at 100,000 tons of sugar this year. But here's the real question. Is this a genuine turnaround or another optimistic projection funded by taxpayers in the middle of an oil boom? Tonight, we break it down. Sugar is not just another crop in Guyana. It is history. It is politics. It is labor. It is identity. For decades, sugar shaped the coastline, the economy, and entire communities. Estates were towns. Factories were livelihoods. And then came the decline. Falling global prices, high production costs, EU preference erosion, factory closures, tens of thousands of workers displaced over the years, billions of dollars in subsidies poured in just to keep the industry alive. So when the agriculture minister says GuySuCo will return to profitability by 2030, that's not a small statement. That is a structural promise. Let's start with the numbers. For 2026, GuySuCo has been allocated $13.4 billion. Of that, $8.4 billion is current expenditure. 81% of that $8.4 billion, roughly $6.8 billion, will go to wages and salaries. But here's where it gets serious. That $6.8 billion does not cover the corporation's full wage bill. The total annual wage bill is approximately $20 billion. That means the rest must come from sugar sales. So immediately, we see the core pressure point. GuySuCo must produce and sell enough sugar to fund the majority of its operations, including wages, contractors, and outstanding obligations. The production target for 2026 is 100,000 tons of sugar. Now let's put that into context. In recent years, GuySuCo has struggled to consistently meet ambitious production targets. Opposition MPS pointed out that factories previously ground sugar for just over 300 hours per week. To meet this year's target, operations would require roughly 445 grinding hours per week. That's not a minor increase. That's a structural jump in operational intensity. So, what changed? The minister argues that mechanization is the key. Currently, approximately 41% of cultivation is mechanized. The strategic plan aims to push that toward 50 to 60% in the coming years. Mechanization means fewer manual harvesters and more machines in the fields. It means faster harvesting cycles. It means more predictable output. It also theoretically lowers long-term labor costs. But mechanization comes with its own capital costs. Machines must be purchased, maintained, operated, and repaired. Fuel prices matter. Skilled operators must be trained. And terrain must be compatible with heavy equipment. Not all cane fields are equal. The government is also recapitalizing factories, replacing rollers, turbines, conveyor systems, and improving juice extraction rates. If extraction improves, more sugar can be produced from the same amount of cane. That directly impacts the TCTS ratio, tons of cane per ton of sugar. The minister suggested a conservative TCTS of 13. The projection document indicates 12 tons cane per ton sugar. With over 1.2 million tons of cane reportedly in the fields, officials argue that exceeding 100,000 tons is realistic. Opposition voices disagree. They argue that even with 1.3 million tons of cane and a 14 TCTS ratio, the target could fall short. They point to historical performance. They question whether a single crop can deliver 71,000 tons in the second half of the year, when similar numbers haven't been achieved consistently since 2020. This isn't just a technical debate, it's about credibility. Because 2030 profitability depends on 2026 production. And 2026 production depends on operational execution, not projections. Now let's talk about debt.